Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Double tackle, takes the defensive end. If he's over him, if he's not, you drive down the first man to his inside. Fullback, you tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one goes. Go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. So look at this play. What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. If you want to email us, you can do so by sending a message to PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us at 865-658-5824. I'm joined alongside my partner in crime, Tim, live in Green Bay. And I wish we had good news tonight, guys, but man, the injury list just continues to grow. Tim, I don't know, man. We're going to dive into it all, but what's your initial thoughts on the news that we got without going into too much detail without us covering it yet?
I'm just trying to, perk myself up and be happy and excited to go do the show tonight, but it was kind of like getting kicked in the gut a little bit. Maybe we just talk about who's not on the injury report, right? Focus on the good things.
I think somebody said roughly a third of the roster was on the initial injury report.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, good thing we're only playing Detroit, a couple days, right?
I mean, just arguably the best offense in the league, nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah, should be fine.
Well, like I told Tim offline, guys, this is Matt LaFleur's best shot to win Coach of the Year. You somehow win this game, you're going to be in the bidding for Coach of the Year, probably. My God.
Hey, you know what though? Let's sprinkle some good vibes. I'm channeling that Miracle in Motown energy that we had when we were in Detroit, which I believe was a Thursday game, if I'm not mistaken, when Rodgers threw the Hail Mary to Richard Rodgers for the walk-off. So it could be one of those type of games here on Thursday, guys. You never know. If we can keep it close, we'll have a chance to win. But if it's a boat race, it's going to be a wrap.
I think we get Jair back, we're going to be all right. He's going to save the day. He's going to play about 3 different positions. Goose in the chat already getting this thing started off right. Says injury list is so long, I'm even on it. So Goose, hope you heal up, buddy. Hope everything's doing all right. Let's just get right into it, man. Let's start. First things first, the big news was the Musgrave injury, right? And news kind of started popping at the presser, and some other details came out as well. Paul Brettel tweeted out a little bit before this latter tweet here. He said, LaFleur says that Musgrave has a, quote, pretty significant injury. He's on the injury report with an abdomen injury. Adds that he's been in the hospital. Musgrave didn't say anything during Sunday's game and played through the injury. Ryan Wood then tweeted out, Matt LaFleur says Luke Musgrave not only has a pretty significant injury, but was actually in the hospital. He played through it. Told Flea the next day. LaFleur says Musgrave is, quote, going to be a dynamic player and credits his toughness. Quote, he didn't say anything all game. So you got double confirmation. Luke Musgrave playing in that game with a serious injury that landed him in the hospital. I believe he stayed in the hospital overnight, if I understood correctly. He's now been released. They know exactly what the injury is. No word on how long-term it's going to be. I don't know, Tim. We don't want to speculate, but anytime anyone says we don't want to speculate, we initially speculate. So I'm starting to think, is it a lacerated, kidney or something? What could it be, right? Because you've seen guys take hard hits before, and you get these internal injuries. I remember Drew Bledsoe. His season got ended, which led to the Tom Brady era when he got hit on the sideline, and he had some kind of laceration internally as well. But we've actually got video of the injury here. I was able to chop it up a little bit, kind of zoom in, do what I needed to do. This seems to be the play that the injury occurred on. You can see him kind of hit the ground hard here, laying out for that Jordan Love pass. Yeah. And goes to the sideline. You can see he's hurting. Yeah, I'm good. He's shaking his head, right? Yeah, just toughed it out. Can't believe he played the rest of the game. Again, let's watch it one more time here. I mean, it's a pretty hard lick, right? You see him
right on the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
he's landing basically. It's like the ball broke his fall in a bad way.
Yeah. So again, seemed like confirmation there that that's what caused the injury. So until we hear the exact details, I know obviously Coach LaFleur is going to be very hush on all the details with it, but not looking good for him.
We'll just go ahead and rule him out. He's out.
Yeah,
Thursday for sure.
I agree. I think there's no way that he's going to play on Thursday, but like we've done all year long, we're going to spin it in the positive direction and say, hey, next man up. Let's see what you got, Tucker Kraft, right?
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft, Ben Sims. I'm eager to see if Josiah Aguara is healthy enough to go, although as we hit on the rest of the injury report, before we do, let's kind of go to the chat here real quick. Dave in the chat says Ben Sims and Henry Pearson time. Yeah, could see him kind of filling in, especially if Josiah Aguara can't go. Of course, it seems like they've gotten away from those 21 sets outside of the pony package too, Tim. So
yeah, really have.
Yeah. Yeah, like Red Mo said, maybe Jair play a little offense, huh? Right. Dave in the chat says lacerated kidney is what he's thinking. And again, guys, we have no information to suggest this is accurate. We're just kind of throwing stuff around here. That's what mediocre podcasts do, right? And we're proud to say that we're a mediocre podcast. We've come a long way, Tim. We're mediocre now. Dick Chavink in the chat says the injury list is as long as a CVS receipt. Man, those are interesting. You ever been to a CVS, Tim?
It's been a while, but yeah, I've taken the CVS run before. Yeah, it's kind of like getting homework, when you leave.
Yeah, get your script filled, get everything you need, right? Get you some Lucky Charms. Of course, you're paying $2 extra a box, but nonetheless, get you some Lucky Charms. And there's always a nice little receipt on there saving you 30 cents on something. So funny how that works. But, yeah. Let's see. Omer in the chat says, above, I have all the Twitter news. Musgrave will not start. There you go. Omer has spoken. And Omer, I've seen you change your profile pic, man. I like it. Look at you going in the positive direction. Got Joe Barry up there. Of course,
little fire.
Everybody's confirmed I'm Joe Barry's campaign manager. So Barry 2024, go ahead. Get your voting in early. We'll make sure everything's nice and secure like the last one. Don't worry about it. Let's see what else we got in here. Robert Allen says, scoring with this offense to me will be difficult. Defense needs to keep them under 20 to have any chance. Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a performance by this defense to pull this off. And again, that's going to be the key to victory, regardless of how healthy you are, right? I mean, you got a situation where you've got arguably a top three, maybe the best offense, depending on which statistic you specifically prefer. Could be one of the best offenses in the league. Got to come out and hold them. Like you said, you hold them to 20 or you hold the Lions to 20 or under. I'm going to get real loud on the Joe Barry campaign. I'm just going to say, but Tim, what do you think, man? You think we got a shot to win this game somehow, some way?
I'm going to be honest. Confidence is a little shaken, as anyone's would be when you see an injury report like this. But hey, man, any given Thursday, we can get it done, right? At any moment, a star can be born, right? In this league, when the chips are down, you're banged up. We're gonna see a lot of who the heck is that guy? Especially I can already picture it now. There's going to be a lot of head scratchers with personnel and some new faces, maybe some old faces in there. But anyone can step up and make plays. And when you're this banged up, I'd be telling my team, hey, keep laying it on the line. It doesn't matter. We got to just play through this. And guys will heal up when they heal up. Everyone's injury is different. This is part of the game. So, I think if we keep everything in front of us, keep it simple. And yeah, we're going to have to lean on the D. We are going to need like top tier tackling. Like I said, they're due for a good tackling grade after this game. So, a lot of pressure on the D for sure. But, if we can manufacture some, resemblance of a run threat and a run game, it'll give our offense a chance. And like I said, I've never been super high on Patrick Taylor, but I also haven't really, been the first guy to drag him either. I think he could have a game too. You never know. Some of these under the radar guys, him bouncing back over here, being familiar with what we're kind of doing offensively. Although a lot has changed since he, was released originally, but I think this is a primetime game on Thanksgiving, divisional matchup. I don't care who it is. You're going to be jacked up to play. And I just want to see guys playing under control and playing smart out there and winning their matchups. And, we got to lean on the defense, though, man, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Looks like Cheesehead Murph here in the chat says, "Go Pack, go Posse! Today is your boy's birthday. Let's get a dub."
Murph,
happy birthday, Murph!
Happy birthday, Murph!
27, 28 years old, Murph down there,
yeah,
aging like a champ, man. I tell you what. As my buddy Worth says, I'm just going to say it. If people think it's racist, say it's racist. I don't care. One of my close friends, his name's Worth Peak. He's about 10 years older than me, big Steelers fan. We are not of the same race, okay? And he always looks at me and says, "Clayton, I'm going to tell you, good black don't crack, baby." That's what he always says. I love it. Worth is a gem, man. That dude is just, national treasure. You talking about a hardcore Steelers fan, Tim? We were going to try to go to that game together, and unfortunately couldn't put it together, but he's wanting me to go to Pittsburgh with him soon, so hopefully we can make it up there and do that. He's one of those guys you can sit and watch a ball game with him. He doesn't lose his mind. He's just even keel, having a cold beer, relaxing, watching the game, taking it in, and not overreacting, and throwing that eyebrow up at people that are acting stupid across the restaurant. You know what I mean? The ones that are getting too loud. But anyway, Cheesehead Murph, buddy, happy birthday! Appreciate everything you do for us, man. You're a loyal listener, and like I said, you're on the Mount Rushmore of the PTA posse. There's no doubt about that. You and our boy Eric Sutherland, two first members there. So haven't heard from Eric in a while. Hopefully he's doing all right. We need to send out a search squad for him. Dave in the chat said, according to a source, Musgrave was diagnosed with the lacerated kidney. All right. Hopefully we weren't that source joking around here. Maybe it's already circulated around, but just hope to have him back soon. The fact he played through it is just absolutely wild. Chris in the chat says, with Packers having 15 players on the injury list and the Lions having 1, are we just soft? I don't think we're soft, Chris. I know some people would get upset at the question. I'm not going to get upset at the question because it does seem like every year our training staff is more cautious than others. Now, when it's your favorite team, the team you focus on the most, it seems like you have more injuries than other teams. I get that. But, Tim, I don't know, man. It feels like every single year we get bit by the injury bug, and I think more than average. At least it seems like that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way, of course, but I think that's exactly what it is. It's the injury bug. It's just, one of those things. When I think of soft in terms of like a player, or we got a soft locker room, or we got soft players, I think more like along the lines of their approach to the game or how they respond in a game. In other words, if a guy gets laid out, on a play, is he the type to pop up and, want to get right back in there and give it to you? Or is he gonna cower in the face of that, that pressure in those situations? That's what I think of when I think of, a soft player. I don't think a guy's getting hurt ever as soft. I mean, dude, this guy's got a lacerated kidney. Like, think about this for a second here. Like, you ain't going to lacerate your kidney dropping a Cheeto on the couch, guys. They're playing big boy football out there, and we need to look no further than last season at Damar Hamlin to what can happen to a guy out there on this football field. So, injury prone is fair to say, right? Nagging injury issues. Certain players have, look at Drake Campbell, the issues that are happening, as he rounds out this veteran portion of his career. It's just part of football. The harder you play, the more pain you go through, the more you put your body at risk. So I think a soft more as in terms of like toughness. And I don't care how tough you are. If you get hurt, you get hurt. It kind of is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is, man. It really is. Josh Martin with the super chat says, last year through the first 10 games, our points differential was -1. This year it's 0 progress. Thumbs emoji. Hey, I like the way you're thinking, man. And again, we pointed out many team statistics, Tim. We did it earlier today on Good Morning Lambeau, where we're kind of on par with where we were last year and a little bit ahead in some cases, right? The defense is outperforming last year's defense, which cracks me up because if you go to Twitter on some folks' Twitter timeline, boy, you would think they took a huge step back. But I think there's a lot of positives in this year. And along with that, Josh, we're the youngest team in the league, and we're battling all these injuries, and we improved from last year. I mean, I've been as critical of Goody as anyone, but when you look at the overall picture, Tim, man, it's could be a lot worse, bro.
There's a lot of I mean, how many young teams like this do you see, in real time as a season progresses, ups and downs early, we went on a losing streak, but now we're seeing this like positive trajectory, and it's not just Jordan Love. There's a lot of guys out here that are getting real close to putting these pieces together, and getting all the attributes together as a young player in the NFL to be able to compete at this level. And a lot of guys don't. They can't. They come into this league and, their first year is not so great. And if you have another one to follow it, you're gone, right? Not for long. That's the NFL. So to see so many of these guys that just have high ceilings and you're seeing progress. Yeah, we're seeing mistakes, but we're seeing, them learn from them, which is important. Mistakes are only bad if you're not learning. So there's a lot to be excited about looking forward to the future. But, we're still in this season. We want to go one game at a time. And, it can be a struggle to live in the present, in the moment, when you're dealing with injuries like this and a young team that's trying to build momentum, because all these guys that aren't on the field, they're losing those snaps, right? Musgrave and, Jaden Reed and these guys that are, popping up on the injury report. Every snap is so vital to your development, as a rookie.
Yeah, I heard Jason Wilde and Rob Demovsky talking earlier today kind of about, you were talking about these incremental steps, right? And trying to going in the right direction. Progress doesn't just look like this, right? There's going to be some valleys, but the goal is at the end of the year to be better than you were, going in. And one of the things they pointed out is, look, Jordan Love's going to struggle. He's going to struggle again this year. You're going to have a bad game or two, maybe more, right? Yep. That doesn't make him a horrible quarterback. We're kind of looking at these last 3 games thinking, okay, it's just up from here. I don't think anybody's career has gone like that, including Aaron Rodgers, including Brett Favre. So, it's going to be fun to see how it unfolds. Josh, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. We really appreciate you. Mike in the chat says, hey, guys, I'm calling it now. Valentine pick 6 and OT to win it Thursday. If I'm holding a turkey leg on Thursday afternoon, Tim, if I'm holding a turkey leg watching overtime, and I will be standing if it's in overtime, I promise you. And my boy Carrington Valentine from your University of Kentucky Wildcats takes a pick 6 to the house to win it, that turkey leg's probably going through a window. I'm going to be so fired up. And I'm eating at my brother-in-law's house, so I got to be careful. He's a big old boy. We'll be down there rolling around on the back porch, squabbing. But, yeah, man, sign me up for that, Mike. Whatever you're drinking tonight, look. Top me off, bartender. I'm all about it. Tim, how cool would that be, bro? Somehow, some way beat the Lions Thursday.
And it may come to something like that. I love the energy right there from Mike. I could see it, pick 6, maybe a long Anders Carlson field goal. Who knows? But we got to be in it. I was at the last Lions game here in Green Bay on Thursday Night Football when we crapped the bed repeatedly. But we did cut it to a 2-score game, and it was, we were boat raced for sure. But the point is if we can stay in it, that's our best chance. But man, we cannot afford a bad start at all in this game. You cannot go down 2 scores, multiple scores to this team. And we know we're a comeback team, second half team. We've seen that this year, right? We're never really out of it. But there are certain points, man, when you're banged up and your depth chart is, really being tested, and coach's creativity is really tested, especially when you're limited because you've got different guys in your personnel groups that you're not used to having out there. Communication can break down, especially on a road game in prime time, on a holiday, hostile environment. There's a lot of these variables. So it's going to be a big test, man, for sure.
Omer in the chat says, don't forget, gang, to like the podcast. Do us a favor real quick. Just take a second, hit that like button for us on YouTube. We really appreciate it. You guys have been killing that here lately. It's helping boost the algorithm to get this podcast in front of other Packer fans. We appreciate y'all doing that. There was another chat up here. I believe it was actually about Aaron Jones, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, right here. Josh Martin says, damn, Jones has an MCL injury. How bad is it? So let's kind of talk about that for a second, okay? And I know Omer was throwing some information out there as well. I apologize for squinting, guys. Doing 3 podcasts a day, this light in my face. Got to have the light, or else I look like I'm interrogating somebody in here, or look like I'm. You ever seen that movie?
The Christmas lights in the background. That's all we'd be able to see.
Yeah, exactly. I'd look like I'm hanging out over there in Buffalo Bill's house in Silence of the Lambs. You remember that old movie?
Should we try that? Let's see. There we go. Now,
Oh yeah, look at
now I
that.
look like I'm about to audition for a Coen Brothers movie or something.
Looks like that meme, and I hate to bring it up again, you being from Milwaukee, but it looks like that meme everybody uses on the Dahmer Netflix movie.
Oh God!
He's holding the knife, pointing at the TV. God, boy,
Oh man!
they abuse that meme, and I'm all for abusing memes. Don't get me wrong. So let's do this. Let's talk Aaron Jones real quick. Let's talk. This is what Bill Huber had to say. Okay, and he wrote an article over at SI. Make sure you guys go show him some love. Retweet it out. It's right there on his Twitter page. I just took a little bitty small blimp of it here. He said Aaron Jones almost certainly won't play for the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving at the Detroit Lions, but the sprained MCL sustained against the Chargers was just about the best possible news. Quote, very relieved, Coach Matt LaFleur said on Tuesday afternoon. Quote, it's not anything long-term. We'll just kind of work through that. The news, and obviously the news wasn't nearly as good for tight end Luke Musgrave, and it goes on to talk about that injury, which we've already covered. So, Tim, when it comes to Aaron Jones and that injury, MCL sprain, I think there's 3 different levels of sprain, if I remember correctly. This sounds like this is probably the most mild. So we're probably looking, I would say, somewhere between 1 to 4 weeks, something like that. Probably will miss Thursday, I would imagine, but maybe back where you're kind of getting a little mini bye there, right? Because we play on Thursday, right? And then we won't play until the following Sunday, I believe. So you get a little bit of a break there. I think he'll probably miss Thursday night. But, hey, let's trot A.J. Dillon out there. Patrick Taylor's back in the house. They signed him. Let's just go out there and try to shock the world, man, for real.
Something to be said about and worth noting, there was no practice today either. So, we're clearly going with the option of just taking it easy. I mean, take it easy is probably not a good term. Just right. resting. And I'm sure there's walkthrough and film, and there's other things that go into prepping for a game, installing your game plan, etc. But, erring on the side of caution here. And it's funny because Detroit doesn't have a lot of names on their injury report, but they're doing the same thing as well. Both of these teams are coming off of a short turnaround here. Really, Detroit's got the advantage of being at home, I guess. But, so probably practice, I would think maybe tomorrow, but then again, tomorrow's probably a travel day. So, I think these 2 teams are going to just go out there and play Thursday. I don't know how much practicing is going to be really going on between now and kickoff,
Yeah, for sure, man. I don't know, dude. It's just such a weird year, Tim.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. We don't have a third of our roster, right, because they're on the injury report, essentially. It doesn't seem like we've had our starting defense on the field the entire season. Just been such a weird season. Robert Allen in the chat says, Jordan scrambling could be our best offense. Fields got 104 yards. Fields is definitely looking to run more than Jordan is, Robert. I don't know what the over-under is on Jordan Love's rushing yards, if there is one set in the gambling community. But with that Detroit Lions front, they're going to come out there and try to shut down the run. I think our passing game's a little further along than where they were when we played them the first time. I think you had a little bit of a positive stint there early. You put that on tape. Now defenses start to take that away from you. Jordan Love, to me, looks like a different quarterback today than he was the last time we played the Lions, right? And that's not to say that he's all world now. It's just he's got all the jitters out, right? He's got a little bit of experience now. He knows what defenses are trying to do to attack him. You've seen how the coaching staff can adjust on the fly, going from either a pure progression to a yes/no read or pick a side kind of concept. I think these are 2 different teams now. It just sucks that we're not healthy, because if we go out there and we lose by 10 points, we still don't have a gauge of this team. You know what I mean, Tim? I'm okay with losing. We understand it's one of the best teams in the league, and there's a good chance that we do drop an L there on Thursday. But I don't know, man. It just sucks not having your players out there to really be able to gauge, okay, if this is one of the best teams in the league, how good are our starters now? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And now we're going to get that early eval on some guys that we didn't expect to be seeing get the kind of reps that they're about to see on Thursday. Man, dude, I can't believe, how many was it? 15? We have 15 guys on the injury report.
Let's pull it up real quick. Bang, there you go. Eric Sutherland in the house. I had to show that real quick. Eric, we were just talking about you, buddy. Good to see you in there, man. Hope you're doing well. So here it is: Jair Alexander, Corey Ballantyne, Devondre Campbell, Kenny Clark, Josiah Aguara, A.J. Dillon, Rudy Ford, Rashawn Gary, Elton Jenkins, Aaron Jones, Luke Musgrave, Keyshawn Nixon. Jaden Reed was added today with a chest injury. Darnell Savage, obviously, still hasn't been activated to the best of my knowledge. Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, and Emmanuel Wilson, running back, which we did find out that was a dislocated shoulder, a shoulder popped out of socket or something. So if you look at the did not participates, you got Devondre Campbell, you got Josiah Aguara, you got Aaron Jones, Luke Musgrave, Dontavian Wicks, and Emmanuel Wilson. With the concussion, Tay Wicks is probably not going to play. He might have a chance to test it tomorrow, but I doubt it. So if you X him out of the equation, right, you take Luke Musgrave out. So think about this. Dontavian Wicks, immediately, if Dontavian Wicks isn't available, you think, okay, let's lean on 12 a little bit, 12 personnel. Well, Luke Musgrave ain't there now, right? So you're probably back to leaning on 11. But it's going to be an opportunity.
What about Jaden Reed? What if he's out?
Yeah. And him being limited, that's what's weird. It wasn't listed Monday. Then limited was the listing today. If he's out, then, yeah, man, it's going to be practice squad central, bro. It's going to be some guys.
Which means what? Which means on both sides of the ball, our coaches are going to kind of be painted into a corner where they're going to have to call a pretty vanilla game.
Bingo.
Right?
Hit the nail on the head, man. Hit the nail on the head. Josiah Aguara probably won't play with that hip injury. Might have to bring up an extra tight end somehow, some way. It's going to be interesting, man. Like I said, I don't think anybody in the country is expecting us to win this ball game. And if somehow Matt LaFleur pulls it off, he's going to deserve a lot of credit, man. There's no doubt about that. So,
I just noticed that Devondre is neck injury, they're calling it. Wow. Because I thought it was shoulder for him as well. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, the way his arm was drooping, to me, it looked almost like a clavicle, right? But
not good.
All that stuff kind of blends together, you know. But yeah, back to the chat here. Mike in the chat said, all honesty, I think we lose this game, but after last night, I think we have a decent shot at beating the Chiefs. Yeah, you know, it was raining. The Chiefs had a lot of drops, but at the same time, the Chiefs aren't the same old Chiefs. They still got Pat Mahomes. They still got Kelsey. I think Kelsey got the love bug right now, so he's not as focused as he needs to be. If someone say, Clayton, you got to bet on one of these games, the Packers are going to win one of these two games. Which one do you think it is? I'd probably pick Kansas City. And if you'd asked me that going in the preseason, Tim, I would have said, what kind of stupid question is that? But
not as stupid as me saying we're going to win them both. Uh-oh.
Hey.
Uh-oh. It can happen, guys. It can happen.
Do you believe it, though, Tim? That's what I need to know, man. Do you believe?
Well, we'll wait to see who the actives are.
Give me a little.
Who's going to put pads on Thursday first?
Exactly. Omer in the chat said divisional matchups tend to be close. Historical fact, absolutely. I don't think it'll be a boat race Thursday. Like I said, I think the worst case scenario for me is us coming within striking distance, falling short, not having our full roster, and thinking we could have beat them. We could have beat them. You know,
yep.
That would kind of suck in my opinion. Let's see. Mike in the chat says, I think we end up cutting Campbell to save money, and we start McDuffie next year. That's an interesting take.
Well, there's some eval we'll get, right? Because we're going to see some McDuffie if Campbell's out, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
On the stretch.
Let's look at the salary cap real quick. I've actually got it here, quick reference. So when you look at Devondre Campbell, his cap hit next year is $14.4 million. His dead cap is 11.6. So if indeed you do decide to cut him, all you're going to be saving is $3 million. So what you got to ask yourself is it worth it to shave off $3 million off the cap? And even if you plan to roll it into 2025, is it worth that to not have Devondre Campbell on the roster? My answer would be no, Mike, but I don't think it's a crazy prediction to think that they could do. I mean, heck, you guys seen the way I reacted to Rasul Douglas. I didn't see that one coming in a million years. What do you think about that question, Tim?
I think it the saving the $3 million, I don't think that's enough of an arguing point to outright cut them.
Yeah.
I will say that it might say a little bit more about how we feel about McDuffie going forward. And if we get, like I said, a good smattering of him starting, we'll get an idea of what that looks like, right? Quay and Zay back there, starting games together, 2, 3, 4 games in a row, will give us an idea if, in fact, Isaiah McDuffie is, starting caliber. To me, I think he's kind of, serviceable in a pinch to start. Certainly has done well and held his own out there on the field. I'm taking nothing away from him as a player, but it's just like we talk about our quarterback or anyone else. Can you do this week in, week out consistently and be effective? And, there's a lot of intangibles that Devondre Campbell brings to the field out there too, as a leader and one of the few veteran presences that we have really on this team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, right? I mean, Preston Smith and Devondre Campbell are probably the first two names that come to mind when I think of veterans on our defense. So, I still think there's value there, and saving $3 million on the cap to me doesn't seem like a legitimate enough reason just to shake him loose. Now, if McDuffie balls out and makes them really have to think about this, that's a different story, right?
Absolutely. But even then though, Tim, for $3 million, I think I like the idea of Dre just being a backup and one of the best backup linebackers in the league at that, right?
And we've seen that with those type of players, right? And I mean, like linebackers, defensive players that later in their careers, or towards the later stages of their career, maybe they do transition into a second, third on the depth chart kind of role, but they're still effective. Guys like that, you could trot Devondre out there on a third down and know he's going to do his job, 9 out of 10 times. So I agree, Clayton. I think he still has value.
Yeah, definitely. Jake Shavink in the chat said Green Bay wins one of the next two and they'll be in the thick of the playoff race.
There it is.
Isn't that wild to think about, Jake? Like
there it is.
I love it, dude.
That's all we could
ask for. It's all we could ask for this season, man. It's just to be in the hunt after this huge, rollover of the roster, youngest team in the league, the injuries on top of it, first-year starting quarterback, and here we are. We've got a chance to have meaningful football going into December, man.
What if they're already showing up in the hunt on the graphics, right?
What if they beat the Lions and then beat the Chiefs?
I'm telling you,
bro. Think about that.
What are they going to say then, right?
They're going to be saying,
I'll tell you what Rashawn will say. Rashawn will say, stop playing with them. That's what Rashawn will say.
Exactly. They'll be saying Jordan Love is the guy if they somehow, some way beat the Lions and the Chiefs.
We got to bring that quote back on loop for real. What was that from? Was that like week 1 or 2? I think it was week 1 after the Bears, right?
Yeah. He ran up on the post-game press conference and said, stop playing with them.
Rashawn was on one, man. I love it.
I love how they tried to play it off, too. You could tell both Jordan Love and Aaron Andrews were scared to death that he was screaming. They were just going, yeah, okay, yeah, all right.
I think Aaron Andrews looked and was like, who is he talking to? Like, she thought he was yelling at someone else maybe behind them.
He's having a flashback from the Richard Sherman interview. Remember that one way back in the day?
Oh, man.
But Jake Shavink back in the chat says they got a chance against KC. Their wide receivers drop it more than Quentin Johnston. Hit the drums.
Hey-o.
Dude, I'm telling you. That was such a victory for me watching Quentin Johnston drop that ball. And then, like I said, our boy
MVS.
I'm thinking I felt bad after I put the tweet out. Tim, that tweet's got over 200,000 views.
You see it, you got to say it, man. We watched that game. We watched that game, and when we saw that play, because I saw it develop. Take your eye off the ball. Thank you, Mr. Kerwin, and thank you, Clayton, for my education in the Packers Total Access Football Academy School of Knowledge. But I'm seeing this play develop, and I'm like, oop, this ball's going deep. And then I see Scantling's got him roasted. And as soon as that ball hit him in the hands and he dropped it, my wife and I just looked at each other and we just looked back. We didn't say anything because we knew exactly what we were thinking. And every other Packer fan was thinking it. You're lying if you say you weren't.
It was bad. It was bad. I got it right here. Can you see the screen, Tim?
Yep.
That's the tweet I put out, boys. I mean, the second he dropped it, I looked at Mandy and I said, I got to do this. So I put Packers fans watching MVS drop a deep pass with 5 yards of separation. Obviously, it's Leo DiCaprio doing the whistle and the point you see down here. It's up to 203,000 views now. You got 4,600 likes. Has been retweeted 413 times. I'm telling you, within the first 2 minutes, it was up over 1,000 views. No, it was up over something like 10,000 views in like 3 minutes. And I looked at Manny. I went, I think I did something bad. I started immediately feeling bad, Tim. But
nobody feels as bad as Scantling, right? I mean, I think he, and to his credit, man, his reaction on the field did not match his off the field reaction, which is good. I mean, he kept his head together out there, and clearly frustrated. He knew he blew it. Huge opportunity. And then after the game, I don't know if you saw him, the helmet definitely went into the wall.
I showed Mandy immediately. I went, look, this is him walking off the field. And she looked at me and she used my middle name. She went, Thomas. Like, it made me feel so bad, bro. And I seen the interaction. I'm like, I can't delete it now. Like, I'm already in. I can just apologize, I guess. But you know what, though, man? I thought, can I have some damn fun for once? Like, I'm just gonna leave it out there. And everybody, all the Packer fans got a good kick out of it. It was a good time watching everybody came in and was like, thought the same exact thing. One guy or several guys were like, I came to Twitter looking for this comment, right?
You want any doubt about how good Aaron Rodgers was as a quarterback? He won 2 MVPs with that guy as a receiver.
Yeah, think about it. And it's funny, too, because some of the people that were still dogging were the ones that were like, Aaron had plenty enough to win with. And it's like, now you guys are pointing out that he's a drops machine. I don't understand that. But M. Smitty in the chat said, we beat the 7-0 Cardinals with a completely depleted wide receiver core. That's right. Remember, Devontae Adams missed that game, right? We were down to like
Jared Abbrederis, and who else did we have?
No, this was just a couple years ago, yeah.
Oh, 21?
You're thinking of the playoff back in the day.
I'm thinking of that playoff game with
another situation.
Yeah, Janis, and shout out to Jeff Janis. Yeah, that was memories. Sorry. Thinking of better days, right?
Absolutely. Hey, for those of you watching live on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the like button. Help us boost that algorithm. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Mike in the chat said, what are your jerseys in the background? So right here is Nick Collins, autographed jersey. That's Lucas Van Ness autograph. The other one is Paul Hornung with a bunch of accolades. It's got like all of his awards are sewn onto the bottom of the jersey. It's autographed by the Golden Boy. And then that's Aaron Jones behind the tree back there. I almost took the Van Ness one down today and put up a new one we got. We now have an autographed Jaden Reed jersey.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I was so excited about that. Mandy surprised me with that one. On the Lombardi wall, we got one that says, what's it say? 1960. What's it say? I think it says 67. I believe is what 67 is the number. And it says Super Bowl II for the name. And it's got like 5 or 6 of Lombardi's Packers signed it. So wow. That's a really cool one. We got a Don Horn. I think he was a rookie that year. He signed his jersey. And he actually drew out Lombardi's Packers suite, the play diagram on one of the numbers. That's really cool stuff. Anyway, that's not why people are here to hear about the jersey. My wife is awesome, dude. She's always hitting me with stuff like this. Not hitting me. I'm not a battered husband. She's surprising me with autographed jerseys and everything. But that's what's on the wall back here right now. Mike, appreciate you asking, buddy. Let's see. Dave in the chat said, yes, sprain MCL week to week at the moment. That's great news for sure. And Kevin in here. What's up, Kevin? Our boy ain't seen him in here in a while. I'm sure he's busy running the roads. He said, no matter what happens, I'm excited for the rest of the season. Good, bad, and indifferent. It's all a part of the process. Absolutely. Says happy Thanksgiving to the whole PTA posse. Be safe. Hey, good to see you in here, Kevin. Appreciate you dropping through, buddy. The show is always better when you're here, my man. I'm going to skip ahead, try to get caught up on some of these comments, and then we'll wrap up with a little Lions preview video. We're at the 38-minute mark. We're doing good, and the chat has been lit tonight. Let's see here. Let's just jump right in the middle. Paul Robertson says, I don't think it's all the wide receivers in KC. Bieniemy not being there has had an effect. I think that's a fair assessment too. I think Bieniemy was a great coach, a great play caller. I think Andy Reid is the glue. He's kind of the magic, of course. Yeah, I think that probably is that. And of course, you lose Tyreek Hill too, Tim. I mean, Tyreek Hill, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the game right now. And here's how you can really tell. If you're starting a franchise today, right, and you go, okay, what receiver are you taking? You only pick one receiver. Who would it be? Devontae Adams comes to mind, but Tyreek Hill can do it all. He's got great hands. He's arguably, most likely, the fastest receiver in the game, fastest player in the game. He can do jet sweep motion, things like that. I think I would go Tyreek Hill there. So them losing him in Kansas City was absolutely huge too. It's just, man, depresses me to think that Green Bay was in trade talks with them to land Tyreek Hill. If they landed Tyreek Hill 2 years ago, whether you like him as a person or not, probably safe to say it would have worked out with Aaron. Aaron and Goody would have figured out how to make it work, because that would have been imagine if they would have got Tyreek Hill and they still had Tay. Holy cow, bro. What a combo that would have been. You can't isolate them both, or you can't double them both, right? You're going to have isolation somewhere for sure.
If we're talking about trades with Kansas City, let me tell you, there's a player I'd love to steal, and it makes perfect sense looking at our injury report right now. Are you an Isaiah Pacheco fan? Because I am an Isaiah Pacheco fan.
Something about him, man. He kind of looks like Tyreek Hill when he runs the ball.
Yeah, man. And he's dynamic, and he's just scrappy runner would be how I would describe him. The guy's hard to bring down, and he's not the biggest, most physically imposing dude on the field, but he's tough to tackle, man, and really electric and fun to watch. And I could totally see him in a Matt LaFleur offense here in Green Bay. Still young enough too. You never know, right? Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's see here. I think I see United Bates in. Yeah, let's try to get caught up on the chat here. Brent X says, think about how the Jets are in shambles. Rodgers brings the ragtag group of vets and an OC. That wide receiver room is so bad. Jets are handcuffed, could be worse. You know, I don't know if I agree with the entire post there, Brent, but overall, yeah, the Jets are in shambles right now. Man, what an absolute mess, Tim. And some people can look at it from the outside looking in and go, this is why you need a GM like Goody to handle things the way he handles them, so it can't get out of control like that, right? But how do you see the Jets, Tim, right now, man?
Well, I try not to, first of all.
Try to keep my sanity, you know?
Yeah, I try not to. It's not the wound's not as fresh anymore, so I mean it's okay. You can sit and kind of watch it, but I mean, I don't know. They're kind of a tough team to watch sometimes. And you know, I don't know, man. It's
offensive line, bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And it's like it I don't know, almost makes you wonder, did they really think they were going to pull this off? They were going to put all these pieces there and just completely neglect their offensive line issues, you know. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, that AFC is definitely not as wide open as the NFC is. So best of luck to those boys in New Jersey, the New Jersey Jets. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not I don't follow them too closely. I see they went ahead and publicly declared Tim Boyle their starter, which is, I mean, it's not a knock on Tim Boyle, but your season's clearly over. We're hearing about you know, A-Rod coming back to practice in a couple of weeks, and he's jogging around now, and you know, the excitement's building. That dude is not going to play a down of football if you guys are not in the playoffs. Like, it's just not going to happen. And I think it would be foolish to do that anyway. Like, even to expect that would be kind of naive, you know. Clearly Rodgers is in that limelight of his career, right? The twilight of his career. You know, he's probably year to year here. He talked retirement possibilities last offseason. He said something on McAfee you were talking about earlier about after the Achilles this year, that thought crossed his mind. You know, yeah. I appreciate the honesty, because he'd be lying if he said it didn't. Of course you're going to think about hanging it up when you're at this stage of your career. But yeah, man, I don't know. It doesn't bode well for the Jets going forward. They do have a great defense, though. I you know, Sauce Gardner, I mean, they've got some pieces on their defense. They have the potential to be a big threat in the future there on that side of the ball, but they've got a lot of moves to make to shore up their offense, I think, for sure. Yeah,
I think that's very well said. Omer in the chat said Rasul never should have let him go, so we lucked out Valentine as a baller. It kind of feels like that was Goody's plan, but I agree with you. I don't think they should have never let Sewell go for sure. Jake Shavink in the chat says memes were elite on Packers Twitter last night after that drop. Man, it blew up. It was like everybody just signed on to go, all right, let's go have some fun here. Let's see. Eric Sutherland in the chat said, I knew he was dropping it 20 yards before it got to him. Golly.
Eric thought, he said, as soon as it was released, he knew it was a drop.
What's up, Carly Ray? She says, did you guys already talk about LaFleur's press conference today? Any injury updates? Yes, there was, Carly. We did already talk about it. In a nutshell, Luke Musgrave spent some time in the hospital that we didn't know about until today. To the best of my knowledge, we just found out today. Hurt himself. This was the play it happened on. Real quick, I'll show you the video. This is him diving for that pass and landing real hard. And obviously, that's where the injury occurred. You can see him get up. He's kind of pointing to his ribs and heading over. Sounds like it was some kind of internal injury. That was the big news today. And then it sounds like they're expecting Aaron Jones to just be week to week as it sits right now. It was just an MCL sprain. So hopefully that gets you caught up.
Did we see Dylan on there?
What's that?
Did we see Dylan on the injury report too?
That's a great question. Let's check it out real quick.
As long as we're going back on that real quick.
Yeah, I can't remember if we did or not. Let's see. Let me drop this.
A.J. Dillon, groin injury. Look at that. He is. So, like, we don't have any healthy running backs right now.
Yeah, we got Patrick Taylor, man, in the house. Patrick Taylor is back.
I wonder, we'll see what's going on with Corey Ballantyne. Look at Keyshawn is on there too. Now, we've been talking about Keyshawn maybe playing offense in a pinch. This guy's on the injury report too. Hopefully, my best case scenario is like half of these dudes go, or close to half of them are able to play at some point, and it's not super serious. But man, Thursday's going to be interesting, guys. Very interesting. United Bates says, I like collecting cards. I have a bunch of game used autos, etc. Those jerseys look sweet, though. Appreciate it. My prized possession right now, I just got a autograph Ray Nitschke picture. And the autograph, you've got to turn it, Tim. You've got to like tilt it in the light to see the autograph. It's so faded. And they were like, oh, when I bought it, they're like, oh, it's kind of faded. I don't get that means more to me. I'm not trying to resell any of this stuff. This is for me to have here in the studio, right? So really cool. That's probably my prized possession right now. I'm a big Ray Nitschke guy, man. If you ever get a chance to read up on him and his story and how his upbringing was so rough, and he was an alcoholic and he turned it around and turned into one of the good guys, it's such a phenomenal story, man. Absolutely awesome for sure. Good to see you in here, Bates. Yeah, I'm a collector as well, Bates. We'll have to chop it up offline here. Let's see. Maybe talk some cards. Special episodes sometime and just talk memorabilia and stuff. She said Murph says MVS was improving down the stretch and into the playoffs. Matter of fact, he was the surest thing in the last playoff game before he left. This Murph, he got his ring, right? He went and got him a ring. There's a lot of Packers right now going, I wish I had me a ring, So, I don't necessarily disagree with you there, buddy. And let's be honest, there's deep balls that he has come down with too. Oh, absolutely. So he's not a drop machine. We just know this is a persistent issue with him, right? It's like basketball, right? We'll go to the basketball analogy. Everyone's got that guy that can't go left, right? You just force him left all the time. He doesn't do it that well. It's just a quirk of the game. I think that's something that MVS is dealing with his whole career, which isn't good if you're a receiver. You don't want to have drop issues, but I don't know. Yeah. It's not all bad. We got a huge crowd in here right now, guys. If you don't care, go hit that like button for us on YouTube. Help boost the algorithm a little bit. If you don't like this content and you can't figure out how to shut it off, just pretend like it didn't happen. Don't tell anybody about us, okay? Keep it to yourself in that regard. Robert Allen in the chat says, good news is the second is moving up that draft board. It sure is. It really is, Tim. And now with Boyle starting, it's probably going to go on up, right? Kind of almost like they're giving up on the season. I can't imagine the morale is too high in that locker room. Even though it is going to be a second-round pick, I think we still need to play this in honor of how everything unfolded. 65%. 65%. That's what we – But listen, I'm going to do it one more time, and I want everyone to focus on the screen. Look at the joy in Mark Murphy's eyes. 65%. 65%. That's what we – I'll tell you what. Look like Mandy with the credit card in her hand right there, bro. Absolute joy. She's out shopping with her sister right now, I guarantee you. I need overdraft protection tonight, fellas. She's out there spending that money. Let's see. We had a super chat. I already missed it. I apologize for that. Dang, we had two of them. I'm slacking over here, trying to be a comedian. Josh Martin with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He said this, a 400-yard, 6-touchdown type of game for love. Josh Martin. Man, so Tucker Kraft's going to have 5 touchdowns, huh? 400 yards and 6 tuds, man. Golly. Hey, you know what? It might take that to beat Detroit. So I'm with you, Josh, for sure. And we got something for you here, Josh. We appreciate the super chat, and I hope that comes true. But
I got to be real with you.
Stay off the damn weed.
Now, hey, look, watch it happen. You watch it happen. Josh Martin, if it happens, I'm buying a super chat from you, buddy. I appreciate the comment. We would lose our mind if something like that happened, dude. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? Come out and boat race the lines. Jordan Love just, he's the first Packers quarterback to throw for 300 yards in 2 years. Let's just go ahead and throw for 400. Heck with it.
And especially if he does it down, two of his targets, if Reed and Wicks don't in fact play. Hopefully Jaden Reed's injury is not super serious. Hopefully he's good to go.
Yeah. Jason with the super chat. Good to see you in here, buddy. Appreciate you. He said, send a super chat in the Chalk Talk, but wanted to say thank you. Say you guys are awesome. Thanks for keeping it real, but also positive. Hey, we appreciate you swinging through, Jason. That's the goal, man. If you see it, you got to say it. And listen, if people have an issue with us having a good time, talking about what's actually happening, I can't help you, right? That's life's too short to be miserable, man. There's plenty of misery out there right now on Packers Twitter. There's no doubt about that. But, hey, we're glad you found the channel and really appreciate you supporting the stream, man. It means a lot. Let's do this. We're at the 50-minute mark. I wanted to hit a video real quick, Tim. I thought this was really cool. Packers.com over at Packers Daily and everything, they did a quick video called, I just called it the Lions preview. They did a good job kind of laying out, talking about the Lions offense, that type of thing. Let's look at this video real quick. We'll check the chat one last time, then we'll get out of here. But again, you guys can check this out for free on YouTube at the Packers YouTube channel on Packers.com. You can also find it on their Twitter page for free. Go give it a like, a share, all that good stuff. They do great content. Here we go.
Snap to Love. Lost it. Got him. The end zone. Touchdown. Christian Watson.
We knew that, we were fighters and we were going to keep on battling for the last second. I think Jay Love said at the end, we've been on the wrong end of, that battle, a little too much this year. And it was just exciting that we came out on the right end this time and kept on fighting all the way to the end.
To finally, get over the hump and get a win, that's a morale booster. We've been knowing that we could finish games like this, but we had to put it on tape, and today was one of those days you put it on tape.
He is set! Oh my goodness! Rashawn Gary!
The next order of business for Rashawn Gary and company, containing the NFC's #1 ranked offense, led by quarterback Jared Goff. There are many reasons why the Lions are putting up 400 yards per game, and Goff is at the top of that list. He ranks in the league's top 5 in passing yards and has delivered 16 scores so far this season, the majority of which have gone to his top 2 targets, rookie tight end Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Pro Bowl receiver ranks top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards and now has at least 5 touchdowns in each of his first 3 seasons as a pro. But with everything on the line, Goff has found Laporta for his final pass to ice it in each of the last 2 games. Come Thursday, Green Bay's top 10 ranked pass defense has a special opportunity to snap a 4-game losing streak to rival Detroit.
We get to play on Thanksgiving. It's going to be a primetime game. Everybody's going to be watching us. So just another opportunity to show everybody what the Green Bay Packers can do.
Thanksgiving games are always, eyes on you. So I expect a fun, emotional, intense game.
There you go.
Look at Drake Campbell, man. He's so proud to be a Packer, man.
Bro, I love that guy.
You know that? And he's real hesitant to throw shade about his time in Atlanta, but whenever he's asked, you can tell he's happy where he is right now. So good to see Dre in that video. That was cool.
Yeah, Dre is awesome. I was eating at a restaurant in downtown Green Bay last year, and we have window seats, and we see this Mercedes. I think it's called G Series or something like that. It's
G-Wagon, yeah.
Bro, G-Wagon, yeah. I'm not a big car guy. Mandy went, look at that G-Wagon. And I was like, what's G-Wagon? She went, it's about $200,000 right there. Sure enough, Dre and the bride got out and walked in. I was like, look at this. And
I didn't know but a couple of game checks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. God, beautiful car. And dude, watching him come in, just a normal dude. Didn't seek attention, didn't act like, I'm here. It was got on his phone, looked like he was texting somebody. Him and his wife just sitting there waiting to get their table. Absolutely awesome. I think I seen Jaron Reed come in after that. I don't know if they were together or not, but you guys hit me up if you plan on the trip to Green Bay. I can get you turned on some great restaurants downtown. Man, that place is a lot better than some of these people They lead on like, oh, they're not doing Green Bay, man. There's some of the finest dining in the country in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm telling you.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
salt of the earth people, man. Just
Absolutely.
I will live there soon, probably sooner than later, but we'll give you guys an update on that later. Paul Robertson here in the chat. Got to do it to me. Paul Robertson says, what will be higher, the combined score of the football games on Thursday or Clayton's credit card bill? I know which way I'm voting because, buddy, I'm about 23 years into this program. We've been together since 2000. That girl could spend some money. I will never forget, Tim. I think I've told this story before. It's my favorite story, though. Her father passed away last year. One of the most amazing men you'll ever meet. I was closer to him than I was my own dad, just to kind of put it in that perspective. We get from the wedding, we go to the reception. I walk into the reception, you know, we did our grand entrance and everything, blah, blah, blah. This was back in 2006 when we got married. And I found her out. I looked everywhere. I'm like, where's John at? I just want to thank him. And I walked up and I shook his hand. I said, John, thank you for everything, man. This has been a perfect day. I started to pull away and he kept me in and he went, she's on your credit card now, bub. So she said, he said, he walked off. He wasn't lying either, man. That man knew what he was talking about.
And you know she's having a good night shopping if you get those potential fraud alerts because they're looking at them purchases like, wait a minute.
They're like, this guy never buys
This
guy never buys anything other than diesel. What's going on here?
Hey, do you ever see that video with Shaq when Shaq went to Walmart and he bought like 80 grand worth of stuff at Walmart and they triggered a bunch of fraud alerts because they couldn't believe Shaq was at Walmart at 2:00 in the morning buying skivvies.
I think he said he still owns the record for the largest purchase. I'm probably going to screw it up. I don't know why. It may have been more than this, but the number that popped up in my mind was $60,000.
Yep.
That's wild, dude.
He does stuff, you know, Shaq's probably one of the most giving people you'll meet as far as celebrities go. And not just, you know, philanthropy and that kind of stuff, but just randomly helping people. You know, you might bump into Shaq at the grocery store. He might buy your groceries for you just because, you know, that's the kind of guy he is, you know.
Man, I hate basketball with a passion. I just can't get into it. I grew up in the 90s watching real basketball, so this stuff today just drives me insane.
Yep.
But if I'm flipping through the channels, Tim, and I see NBA on TNT on, and you got Ernie Johnson. Is it Ernie Johnson? I'm thinking right?
Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet,
bro,
Charles Barkley.
It's a remote drop for me. I'm like, I hate basketball, but these dudes are so entertaining. They are so good at what they do, man. So good at what they do. Omer says the diesel is expensive. Not sure. He said tomorrow score predictions. So Clayton, bring your pen. All right, buddy. We'll do score predictions tomorrow. Y'all be ready for that. This is the one we're going to end with right here, Tim. This is the last question. I think it's an important question. I want the chat to light it up here. Maybe you already have, and I haven't seen it yet. Mike says, favorite Thanksgiving dish, guys. Mine is deviled eggs and stuffing. Favorite Thanksgiving dish. So the way he did it was kind of like a smaller, let's just say 2 dishes, Tim. It could be the main course. It can be a dessert. What are the 2 things? And this is the way you always answer questions like this, man. You can only have 2 things the rest of your life on Thanksgiving. What is it, Tim?
Oh, I'm going with stuffing too. Stuffing or dressing, depending on, you know, where you're from or whatever you call it. And no, I'm not partial to stovetop or homemade or whatever. Give me stuffing. Let me get some of that good gravy on there. And I'm kind of a classic guy, man. You know, turkey. I love meat. You know, some good piece of turkey with some gravy and stuffing. I could do those 2 for sure. My runner up is you know, Mom's cheesy potato casserole that she makes. So that's one of my favorites as well too.
What's the difference? Do we know the difference between dressing and stuffing? Any idea?
I thought it was just semantics, right? Or is there a difference? Is it like the way it's made? I don't know. You could buy me a box of stovetop, man. Hook that stovetop up. As long as the gravy's good, I'm okay.
For me, it's definitely, we do like a stuffing where they shred some of the turkey and put it in the stuffing and cook it, bake it, right? So I would go with that. So I had the turkey too. I'm kind of cheating here, right? But I would go with the stuffing and the cranberry sauce. And listen to me closely. I'm not ashamed of this. The cranberry sauce has to be the cheapest cranberry sauce right out of the can, like Emilio said. I want the.
Well, you got to use the can opener to open, right? It doesn't have a little pop top.
You kidding me? We're balling on a budget over here, baby, like Nappy Roots. No way, no how. Are you getting the expensive one with the break-off can? You got to sit there and gnaw on that thing, and you got to have the ridges from the can on the cranberry sauce, bro. It's jelly's what it is. Let's be honest here. It's untelling. God knows what's actually in that can, right? I don't care. You put that with the stuffing. I'm in a coma by halftime of the first game. I promise you that. And we'll probably want to be in a coma in a halftime of the first game there on Thursday. But let's see what the chat says. Josh Martin says stuffing. Omer says stuffing. Robert Allen says pumpkin pie and giblet stuffing. Okay. All right. And Omer said, yeah, got to have the gravy too. Josh Martin says mashed potatoes with cheese and bacon on it. Come on, dude. Like a loaded baked potato basically smashed up. Sign me up for that, man.
Good.
Derek K says stuffing, pumpkin pie, cranberry. All right. Jim Tyson says mashed potatoes and turkey. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Fried turkey. You ever had a deep fried turkey, bro?
No, not properly done. I don't think. No.
Tim. I always bake mine, right? I always cook mine, slow cook in the oven. I cover it in bacon. I use Gordon Ramsay's recipe. It is phenomenal. What Dead Fish is saying here about this fried turkey, I've experienced it 2, maybe 3 times. Bro, it is phenomenal. A deep fried turkey. Dangerous as heck, though.
Don't burn your house down.
Nah, bro, I'm hiding over in the bushes while they're cooking that thing. Every time they lift it in and out, I'm like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. They definitely cook it outside too, rightfully so. Fried turkey is money, man. You're spot on there, Dead Fish, for sure. And Omer said pie to finish it off. You got to have whipped cream on the pie. Completely agree. I'm a whipped cream junkie, bro. Yep. Even the homemade whipped cream. Oh my God, bro.
Or in Wisconsin, we do a little side of vanilla custard with it too. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Number one Packer fan said the dressing is made different. We need to get the details worked out there so I can figure out exactly what I've been eating for 41 years of my life.
I'm going to have to check with the fam, see if we can pull that off this year. We have to make some calls. Can we have stuffing and dressing so I can do a comparison?
There you go. And you need to film it, Tim. And we'll post it on social media. We'll get the final verdict there. Chad Inc. says, "Give me ham over turkey all day." I can't disagree, man. Especially those spiral cut honey glazed hams. Oh my God, I'm gaining weight right now talking about this. Omer says ice cream with pie. Okay, with my pie. Dang, Omer.
Yep.
Junkie over there, my man. Paul Robertson says pumpkin pie drenched in whipped cream. You got it. Eric Sutherland. I knew it. My man. Read it, Tim.
Budweiser.
Read it one more time, Tim.
Don't make me do it. I'm from Milwaukee, man. We're a Miller household up here, but what he's saying is daddy sodas. That's what he's saying.
Eric Sutherland said, I don't need no turkey. I don't need no pie. I don't need no stuffing.
Yeah, 24 pack of Bud.
Only thing I need out of the can is that Bud.
You call me anything you want, but don't call me that.
There. Let's see. Dave says, my opinion, stuffing's in the bird. Hey, easy now. This is a family program. Stuffing in the bird, dressing in the dish.
Dressing in the dish. Okay.
So I think what we're having is dressing. We've never actually stuffed it in the turkey. That'll land you in jail in some states. You got to be careful with that, boys. Let's see here. Derek K said, yes, the cheap cranberry. Thank you, man. Mike Berry says turkey leg and cranberries. Okay. So actually the real cranberries, I imagine, Mike. You're getting all fancy over there. I've seen some of those. It looks beautiful. But when I've tried just the cranberries, I'm like, nah, give me that cheap can. I'm going back to the projects, baby. Going back to my roots. Number one Packer fan said, I've had both stovetop and dressing. If you know how to cook it, don't matter, baby. Plate it, need it. Absolutely.
Amen. That's right.
Paul Robertson says Clayton's cranberry sauce stops jiggling at about halftime. Out of control. God, they're just see. This is how you get the chat lit up. This is how you get in.
Here we go.
Talk about foods. Go ahead, read it off for me, Tim.
United Bates, mashed potatoes and whatever rolls with bread and butter. Yes, you got to have the rolls with bread and butter. I'm good for about 8 to 10 of those myself. Usually mix everything into the taters though, corn, stuffing, etc. Look at that. That's a Marine right there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's chow right there. I love it. You have to do Thanksgiving with Mr. Bates here.
I bet it takes him 2.5 minutes to eat all that too, just like a true Marine.
And I guarantee you, he's holding his fork like this with a fist when he's eating it, right?
Bro, you mentioning bread. If it ain't homemade bread, Sister Schubert's rolls. Oh my God, man. So good. So you got just enough sugar in them to make them sweet. Woo! Zane Strong says turkey and baked pineapple ham. Yeah, you got to have the pineapple on the ham. Good call there. Omer's listed off 17 dishes in here. He says you need nice rolls and breads for sure.
Yep.
Jim Tyson says deep fried turkey is amazing. I'm surprised at all the deviled eggs, man. A lot of people like deviled eggs.
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, I know several people that don't like deviled eggs, but the chat, man, it's pretty unanimous in here, Tim.
God bless those people, because those are all the ones who eat them, and I don't have to worry about them.
Keeping this society rolling here.
Yep.
Lee says deviled eggs are a must too. Paul Robertson, y'all are missing out on cranberry fluff.
Uh-oh.
What is cranberry fluff? Paul.
Hey, so anyways, guys, if you like the new food podcast, make sure you hit the like button at the bottom. Feel free to subscribe to the channel.
The most interaction we've had all night, man. I don't know. I feel obligated now to read them all, but I'm not going to be able to.
Wait, look at Omer. Put Omer's. I'm freaking hungry right now. Got to go eat when we get done.
I like Derek K. He must be single. He said, give me 10 street tacos. Call it a day.
Hey, there you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Candied yams with marshmallows and cinnamon or whatever is awesome too. Love it.
Oh, my wife makes something like that, real similar. She does a bake. It's pretty good.
Chad Inc. said Clayton going to have a double helping of the canned cranberry. Listen, I don't know if you're on Twitter, Chad, but tag me on Thanksgiving Day and just say, hey, man, where's that cranberry? I promise you're going to see a picture with the ridges. You're going to get the ridges from the can, bro. I'll eat it right out of the can. I ain't
And
scared.
everyone's got that family member that makes their own cranberry sauce. They spend a lot of time on it, and then everybody just eats the stuff out of the can, and then their dish just sits there.
What is this? Whipped cream apples and chopped up Snickers bars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody here, I got to hit you with it. I'm sorry, man.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Seriously, my man, that's wild. Snickers bars chopped up with whipped cream and apple. Is he being serious?
I could get it. I mean, it's kind of like a caramel apple almost, maybe.
I think Tim used to smoke.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely creative for sure.
I like this right here. Number one Packer fan says this year, no turkey. I'm putting 2 chicken and lamb chops on the smoker. Let's go. That sounds great, dude.
There you go.
Derek K says pineapple upside down cake. All right. Chad says, I got you, bro. Tag incoming. Remind me, man. I promise you'll see the ridges. You'll see the ridges. All right. This is the last one, I promise. Paul Robertson said cranberry fluff equals cranberries, pineapple, and whipped cream. That kind of sounds like a fruit salad or something. That sounds good. I could do that. I could probably do that. I said it was the last one. United Bait said, I'm not a big cranberry fan, but I get real suspicious if I don't see those ridges. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Better give him that mess hall cranberry sauce.
And Robert Allen says, Omer going to need a bottle of that French vino if the Pack gets smoked. He'll be in here. If the Packers get smoked by more than 10 points, this is going to be Omer at the post.
No! My cash is right there!
I love it. All right, we're out of here. We wasted enough people's time. I can't believe there's still 64 people in here watching. This cracks me up. There it is right there. Bang. Listen, Mr. Fire Them All never picks them to win. Check back on the pods, but I'm telling you, they will win Thursday, injuries or not. Put it in the bank, Tim. Put it in the bank.
I love it.
Parting thoughts, Tim. We've changed the world in here today, man.
I can't wait for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Am I more excited for the game or for the food? I'm not sure at this point, but no, it'll be a great game either way. I really don't think they're going to get boat raced. I think this team's going to find a way to play together because when you face adversity, it can really unite a team. And like I said, some new faces in there, but some familiar ones activated to this roster. So I'm excited. I'm with Omer. I'm going to be positive. I think we get the dub. I think we shock the world, man, on Turkey Day. And I would love it. Absolutely love it. Go Pack, go.
Absolutely. She said, Murph says, go Pack, go Posse. And then, of course, Robert Allen says, Joe Barry 2024. Go Pack, go. All right, we're out of here, guys. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. This has probably been one of my funnest shows. I don't know if funnest is funnest a word? No, funner ain't. Anyway, this has been one of the most enjoyable shows we've done so far. I want to give a special thank you to Josh Martin and Jason Y for the super chats. We really appreciate that. Guys, thank you all for hanging out in the chat. You absolutely lit it up. This has been really, really good hanging out with you guys. So we'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Lambeau. I think you're going to be available, right, Tim?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
We'll do Good Morning Lambeau tomorrow. We'll do PTA Live tomorrow night. And then I'm going to try to do an early pregame show before I head out to visit family on Thanksgiving. Let's don't plan on a postgame show right now. But if I get back home in time, I'll let you guys know. You'll see the link go up. And we might do a later postgame show, we being me, just to kind of get on here and chop it up with you guys if I get home in time. But I'm probably going to weigh about 30 pounds heavier. Mandy's going to have the credit card bill maxed out. So I may not even want to talk ball. All right, just being honest. So with that being said, we're out of here. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Pack Go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense.
Double tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man who is inside. Pull back and tell him to take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one goes. Go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.